Okay, let's dive in. Imagine this. You risked absolutely everything, your family, freedom, your life, to betray your country, but not for money. Because you actually believe it's the only way to stop, well, a global catastrophe. That's the really complex, high-stakes world we're exploring today.
It's quite a premise, isn't it?
It is, and we're digging into Ben Macintyre's The Spy and the Traitor, the greatest espionage story of the Cold War.
Hmm.
This isn't just dry history, it's a nonfiction book that reads like a thriller. Macintyre blends amazing research with just brilliant storytelling.
He really does. He makes these huge, complex geopolitical events feel very human, very accessible.
Exactly. So our mission here is to unpack the incredible true story of Oleg Gordievsky, a top KGB guy who becomes Britain's maybe most valuable Cold War spy,
Hmm.
and how his righteous betrayal, as some might call it, might have stopped a nuclear war.
It's a journey into spying, tough moral choices, and those hidden moments that, well, really shaped history.
Right. And just so you know, you are experiencing a unique two-host AI conversation powered by Google's NotebookLM for deeper, more dynamic book analysis.
So, Gordievsky. McIntyre starts right at the beginning, which makes sense. How does someone born into the heart of the Soviet system turn against it? Oleg Gordievsky, born 1938. His dad, Anton, was a loyal NKVD officer. That's the KGB's predecessor.
And his brother, too, right? Vasily, also KGB.
Exactly. He seemed totally set on that path. But McIntyre points out something crucial early on. His mother, Olga, she was a statistician, and she had this quiet, deep skepticism about the whole Soviet thing.
Okay, so those seeds of doubt were planted early, maybe by her, even while he's doing well in the system.
That's what McIntyre suggests. And Oleg was smart, great with languages, graduated from that elite Moscow State Institute of International Relations. He was being groomed.
But then came the reality check.
Yeah, a big one. August 1961, he's posted to East Berlin. Right before the wall goes up, McIntyre writes the wall just appalled him. And that's when he really became disillusioned with the Soviet system, seeing it built brick by brick.
Wow. Seeing that physical division must have been powerful. But you mentioned something else solidified it, the decision to act.
Right. The big turning point, the one that pushed him from disillusionment to action, was 1968, the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia. He found it morally just, repugnant.
So that's when he decides he has to do something, not just dislike it.
Precisely. And that moral disgust, that conviction, is what made him receptive when British intelligence approached him. This was while he was stationed in Copenhagen around 1966. They recruited him. Code name, Sunbeam.
And his reason? Not money, like so many others.
No. McIntyre's really clear on this.
Yeah.
Gordievsky wanted to undermine the Soviet system from the inside. It was ideological, principled even.
Incredible. So for more than 10 years, roughly 74 to 85, he's living this double life, feeding MI6 priceless information from deep inside the KGB. The mental strain must have been unbelievable.
Absolutely immense. Constant fear, constant deception. He actually returned to Moscow in 78. He divorced his first wife, something the KGB apparently frowned upon, oddly enough.
Really? They had a code of ethics about divorce.
Seems so, yeah. Then he married Layla Aliyeva. Her father was also high-ranking KGB, so he's still deep in that world.
And then comes the London posting in 82. That was huge, wasn't it?
Oh, a game changer. He eventually becomes the acting resident, basically the KGB station chief in London. Unprecedented access.
And MI6 had this clever strategy, chicken feed, giving him small bits of real intel to pass back.
Yeah, exactly. Just enough believable stuff to keep Moscow trusting him, make him look good, but nothing too damaging to the West. It worked perfectly. It let him expose loads of Soviet agents' operations. McIntyre calls it the single largest operational download in MI6 history, just a flood of crucial intelligence.
A goldmine. But the biggest thing, the really world-changing stuff, happened in 1983, right? With the nuclear scare.
That's arguably his most critical contribution.
Yeah.
It was a terrifying time. Soviet leadership, right up to the top, genuinely believed the U.S. was about to launch a nuclear-first strike.
Able Archer 83, I remember reading about that. NATO runs a war game, a simulation.
A very realistic one. And the Soviets, who had this program called Operation Ryan, specifically looking for signs of attack,
They thought the game was real?
they completely misinterpreted it. They saw the realistic simulation, the communications, the movements, and thought, this is it. They started prepping their own nuclear arsenal. It was incredibly dangerous.
So how did Gordievsky fit in? What did he do?
His intelligence was vital. He was able to tell MI6, look, this isn't posturing. Moscow's genuinely scared. They really think an attack is imminent.
Wow. So he confirmed the paranoia was real.
Exactly. And that information went straight up to Thatcher. She then talked to Reagan, convinced him to, tone down the rhetoric, de-escalate. Macintyre strongly suggests Gordievsky's intel essentially short-circuited that feedback loop of fear and might well have prevented a nuclear war.
It's chilling. Makes you really pause and think about those hidden moments.
It really does. And, for anyone wanting to reflect more on these kinds of complex historical moments and the thinking behind them, our Mindful Moments series on our YouTube channel delves into exactly that kind of analysis. It's about encouraging that deeper, rational thought.
Good point. But the irony, after all Gordievsky did, his downfall came because of a Western spy turning traitor, Aldrich Ames.
Yeah, Aldrich Ames,
Yeah.
a CIA officer. And his motivation, unlike Gordievsky's, was purely money. Greed, Macintyre puts it starkly. Ames sold out secrets to buy the American dream he felt he deserved. Just pure self-interest.
And the consequences were devastating.
Horrific. Ames betrayed numerous Western assets. At least 10 were executed because of him. And one of the names he gave the KGB was Oleg Gordievsky.
So the net starts closing in May 1985.
May 27th, 1985. He gets recalled to Moscow. They tell him it's for a promotion, a consultation. It's a lie, of course.
And instead of a promotion, interrogation.
A brutal one. 5 hours. They drugged him with something called SP-117, basically a truth serum designed to break him.
But he held out.
He did.
Ah.
Despite hallucinations, immense pressure, he just kept repeating, deny, deny, deny. He somehow got through it, but he knew. He knew they suspected him. Maybe he knew for sure. His time was up.
He had to trigger the escape plan, Operation Pimlico.
Exactly. In this part of the book, it reads like pure le carré, but it's all true. The signal. He had to stand on a specific street corner with a Safeway carrier bag.
A Safeway bag, seriously.
Seriously. And the MI6 contact would confirm by eating a Mars bar while carrying a Harrods bag. Very British signals.
Incredible. Then the escape itself, evading surveillance, the long journey.
A nightmare. He had to ditch KGB tails in Moscow, then somehow get 500 miles to the Finnish border. MI6 had operatives waiting, Raymond Asquith, Andrew Gibbs. And they had their wives and even a baby with them in the car.
A baby? Why?
Diplomatic cover. They were driving cars with diplomatic plates, which under the Vienna Convention usually aren't searched thoroughly at borders. The families made it look like a normal diplomatic trip. Less suspicious.
Risky doesn't even begin to cover it.
Totally. And the climax of the border crossing. The Soviets bring out sniffer dogs. It looks like it's all over. But then, the baby's dirty nappy. The smell distracts the dogs at the absolute critical moment. Unbelievable.
He couldn't make it up, so he gets across.
He does. He's hidden in the boot of the car.
Yeah.
And the signal that they're safe across the border in Finland, the agents play Sibelius's Finlandia on the car stereo loud enough for him to hear.
Wow. Just wow. What an escape. But it wasn't over, was it? His family was still trapped.
No, that's the tragic part. The Soviets refused to let his wife, Layla, and their 2 daughters leave. And this is where Margaret Thatcher gets personally involved again. She was furious.
What did she do?
When diplomacy failed, she ordered the tit-for-tat expulsion of 25 Soviet officials from London, all people Gordievsky had identified as KGB or GRU, sending a very clear message.
And she wrote to him personally.
Yes, a remarkably compassionate letter for the Iron Lady, telling him not to lose hope, that life has meaning. It showed a different side of her, maybe.
But the family, they didn't get out for years.
Not until 1991, after the Soviet Union began to crumble. 6 long years.
And the reunion?
It was bittersweet, as Macintyre describes it. They finally joined him in England, but the years apart, the secrecy, the immense strain, it had taken its toll. The marriage didn't survive.
Such a huge personal cost. It really underscores the themes Macintyre explores, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The central one is that clash. Moral courage versus institutional loyalty. When is betraying your country the right thing to do? Gordievsky clearly believed the Soviet system was immoral, making his betrayal, in his eyes, heroic.
And you contrast that with Ames.
Exactly. Gordievsky's principle versus Ames's pure greed. It highlights the corrupting nature of power, both personal and systemic, within the Soviet regime.
And the sheer psychological weight of it all. The constant fear, the isolation.
Macintyre really drives home the toll of deception, not just on Gordievsky, but on his family, too. They were victims of the situation as well.
Then there's that razor's edge between war and peace. Able Archer 83 again.
Yeah, how one person's secret information passed through hidden channels could literally pull the world back from the brink. It's a powerful argument for the role, maybe even the necessity, of intelligence in preventing conflict.
Macintyre uses that wilderness of mirrors idea too, right? The whole world of espionage.
He does. It's a perfect metaphor for the duplicity, the uncertainty. Gordievsky lived in that wilderness. His defection becomes a kind of moral verdict on the whole Soviet system.
So the book isn't just a spy thriller, it's history with profound philosophical questions.
Definitely. When is betrayal justified? What are the dehumanizing effects of totalitarianism? How crucial is hidden intelligence? Macintyre weaves it all together.
And his style meticulous research but reads like a novel. Critically acclaimed too.
Hugely. John le Carre himself praised it, a bestseller. It's seen as a definitive account now, showing the human costs, moving beyond spy fiction cliches.
Its legacy seems pretty significant then, influencing how we understand that period, maybe even current events.
I think so. It provides vital context for the Cold War's end, showing just how close things got in '83. And yeah, understanding those past methods certainly informs how we look at intelligence activities today.
We've really only skimmed the surface here. Macintyre took this incredibly complex story and made it accessible, powerful history.
He really did. The power of narrative nonfiction is clear.
It leaves you thinking, though. In our world, awash with information, how do you tell real conviction from just treachery? And you have to wonder what hidden acts of courage, maybe like Gordievsky's, are shaping things right now unseen.
Yeah, it prompts you to think about those moral gray areas, the enormous personal sacrifices involved in that hidden world, and their quiet impact on global events.
Absolutely. For the full, in-depth book analysis and more mindful moments like the ones we touched on, click the link you see on screen. Subscribe, share, maybe purchase the book via the link, and definitely keep thinking critically about the hidden forces shaping our world.
And join us again for more of our podcasts, where we'll keep unpacking compelling stories and ideas like this one.